In the last hours, the parents put the skids on their two boys, ages 5 and 8, from revealing what they know. Both of the boys in the home at the time baby Lisa goes missing, their 10-month-old baby sister. Both of them have stated, apparently, that they heard noises during the night. This, as we confirm, that cell phone the parents say was stolen, they said could not dial out because they forgot to pay the bill that month. Well, a phone call was made out from that cell phone in the early morning hours after baby Lisa disappears. A 50-second, nearly a minute phone call goes out, straight out to Jim Spellman, CNN correspondent, joining us there in Kansas City. Jim, why did the parents at the 11th hour stop the interview with their two little boys?
We don't know, Nancy. It's been such a confusing week of the information we're getting from the family's team. First, they canceled the media tour here yesterday. Then they canceled the press conference, and they canceled today's interview with the boys. Investigators were really hoping this was going to give them some new information to try to get a foothold on finding baby Lisa. Now it's canceled, or rather, we should say postponed until next week. But every day we get a different story, so we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Joining me right now is a special guest, Erin Miller-Weiss, a child forensic interviewer. All along, the parents had said it would be too traumatic for their boys to speak to cops, so cops import a special forensic counselor trained to speak to children. Erin, thank you for being with us. Erin, after many years of prosecuting cases where children were victims, you really, to get all the facts, you really have to speak to the child in child language. Isn't that right?
That's exactly right, Nancy. And I just wanted to point out, you mentioned that sometimes there are concerns that this process is going to be traumatic for children. And I can tell you that there are children's advocacy centers and forensic interviewers across the country who are committed to making sure that this process is as child-sensitive as possible. We want to gather as many facts and information from children in child terms, and we don't want to lead them to any particular statement. And so we take
Erin,
great care
for
to be very deliberate in that.
For instance, when I would be dealing with a child witness, for instance, in a child molestation case, I'm thinking of one specifically, in an indictment, it helps you if you have a date of the offense, although you can put a range between April and June, this incident happened. But for instance, a child might go, well, I don't know what day it happened. You can ask, well, was the Christmas tree up? Was the Easter bunny coming? Did you have your Halloween costume already? There are a lot of ways to unlock a child's mind and get the story out of them without traumatizing. Would you agree, Erin?
Yes, there are many questions that we can ask to narrow down time frames. We might ask about weather. What was the weather like? Or how old were you? Who was your teacher at the time? Was it before or after a particular holiday? Before or after your last birthday? So there are many questions that we would ask to, again, narrow down the time frame. And it's not unusual for a child not to remember specific dates